Hello and welcome to this week's League of Legends Power Rankings, where I cover my top 25 teams across the League of Legends ecosystem. Um, you know, 25 to 1. Pretty simple. You know how power rankings work. Now, when it gets to power rankings, when it comes to smaller regions, things become tough for me. I don't watch those teams play, whereas I do watch all four major regions and don't miss a game. So I can generally get a good idea of how these four major regions go. It is mixing the PCS in there, VCS now, and etc. into this that makes it difficult. So that in that case, I use a little bit of algorithm. So I know who's going to be in the top 25, I guess, and then I kind of formulate how it's going to look after that. Now, as far as compared to last week to this week, the teams that are out, let me just make sure I'm on the screen. I am. Astralis are out. Red Canids are out. C9 and CLG all out of the top 25. So we have four newcomers to the top 25 that weren't in there last week. That being the PCS and VCS, certainly, because the PCS just started playing this past weekend and the VCS started playing today. We're going to see a shocker from the VCS in here, and I'll get to that when I get to that. Now, the regions that aren't represented and where the top team is ranked in the algorithm, not necessarily where I believe they are, because I'm not ranking all 110 teams every week, especially teams I've never watched. How do you rank a team you've never watched? You've got to use numbers from their games to try and determine that. The top Japanese team, Sengoku Gaming, I know they're undefeated last I checked. They're 30th according to the algorithm. Red Canids, I believe, are 7-1. They're 29th from CB Low. Nasser Turkey, the top Turkish team, are 34th, and Astral Gaming or Astral Esports out of Latin America are 36th in the world according to my algorithm, not necessarily my power rankings. The thing is with Latin America specifically, they did not play this past weekend due to COVID, and not even just that. I believe there is a team that didn't play at all the first week due to COVID, so their amount of games for everybody's all over the place, and it's throwing the algorithm for a loop, specifically with Latin America. When I get to the VCS, though, there is a little tidbit I'd like to get into with that as well. So now that all that intro crap is done, if you've stuck through it this far, let's get into the rankings. 25th on my list here are Chief Esports Club out of LCO. They drop 7 spots, I believe. So they are dominating the LCO. That is without a doubt. And why am I writing out the full name? I'm not writing out full names for all these. Sorry, but that would make this video even longer than it's already going to be. So, Chief Esports Club drop 7 spots, 7 or 8. 11-0 though. Atop the Oceania standings, they're dominating. I say it every Monday when I do my news and notes, when they're up there in the top tier of the smaller regions. They're dominating. They're 19-2 in spring. They choked during the playoffs. We'll see how they do this time around. But they drop because other teams just got better and stronger regions, and the PCS and VCS now get an opportunity to be on this list, and it changes things. Next, I have Beyond Gaming out of the PCS. They are new. They opened up the split 3-0. From what I understand, I believe they had a weak schedule. I think that's what somebody said in the comments of my video on Monday when I had them in there. So nice that I got a little bit of scouting report on them. A team that not many of us really know about. Mostly the PCS is the PSG and the J team region. I mean, Flying Oysters in there, but they're not in the upper tier right now of the PCS, at least after week 1. 23rd, we've got the Mad Lions. The Mad Lions this past week beat G2 but lost to Misfits. They dropped significantly after that loss to Misfits. You know, Mad Lions now at 4-3. There are a few 4-3 teams, and you kind of got to worry about Mad Lions because spring was so bad. Niski has helped them out, but at the same time, losing to Misfits is not acceptable. I go over it when I do these things. When you beat teams in your wheelhouse, that okay, you're better than this team. That's good to know. Like beating G2, that's good. But then losing to Misfits is like, well, what the hell? You know, like, what are you? Are you a coin flip team? We don't know. If that's the case, then things get kind of sketchy. After that, this is where we have our VCS representative, and this is kind of troll. Honest to God, I'm slightly trolling with this one. It's Team Wales, and so VCS played for the first time today. They had two series. Team Wales beat AS Esports, promo team. Team Wales, honestly, if you watch my VCS preview, which you probably didn't, but they were the 7th out of 8 teams going in. I don't watch the VCS. I wouldn't know where they actually rank. But I think the people in the comments said that they are not good. Now, the thing is, they won by quite a margin. So it made the algorithm say, okay, well, this is where they are. And no matter what, I was going to put a VCS team in this top 25. Now, I expected it to be Gambit. Not Gambit. Gam Esports. They lost. Not only did they lose, they lost to what I am made to believe is a meme team in STBC Esports. And not in the gap wasn't big enough where it was going to overtake Team Wales, and actually that win wasn't big enough to get them into the top 25. But nevertheless, Gam lost. I don't know if you watched that. Why the hell did that happen? I don't understand why that happened. So I thought that team, honestly, was the super team or something. And honestly, I'm not even saying that to be troll. Like, it's troll to put this team here, but it's not. I'm not trolling when I say what the hell happened. I mean, getting the loss out of the way early is good, I guess. 21st, Anyone's Legend moving up one spot, I believe. They're in the LPL. Beat Weibo, lost to Victory 5. I debated on actually where we're going to do this right now. So Weibo are 20th. And this is going to kind of make people be like, well, why is Anyone's Legend below Weibo? And it's like, come on, Weibo on paper is better than Anyone's Legend. They lost to them, but Weibo lost to Top as well. Did they overlook Anyone's Legend because they played Top before that? I don't know. I just know that Weibo on paper is better than Anyone's Legend. It's just a matter of getting it together, not inting your face off. Anyone's Legend, I'm really happy that they are as good as they are because really, honestly, I didn't expect this. I think their Forge is playing out of his mind. The meta is fitting him well. ZDZ is not inting in top lane and losing them games like I think that is a possibility. And Betty and Chow Chow have done well. Zhao Hao's done well. Anyone's Legend's done okay. Where Weibo are dropping because they're inting like crazy, and it's not just SFM anymore. I mean, that was what it is. Not the Shy anymore. It's SFM as well. And on 19th, the last team from other outside minor regions, J Team. This isn't a surprise to me. J Team is a very good PCS team. Uniboy did very well in week 1. The team did really well 3-0. We'll see how they do going forward. But as of right now, solid team. I expect them to be in the top 25 or around there in the top 30 all year long if the wheels don't fall off. Excuse me, 18th, I have Thunder Talk Gaming. They dropped 2 spots. They were 16th last week, 1-4 going into the week. Now they are 2-4. They beat BLG. They lost to somebody. They were 1-3 going in last week, and I wrote down that they lost to Thunder Talk Gaming. They lost themselves. That doesn't make any sense. But they beat BLG. They lost to EDG. I knew it was someone else on this. Spoiler alert, EDG's on here. So Thunder Talk played EDG well. Thunder Talk beat BLG with backups. Like, as in, Thunder Talk had backups. And I've been saying all along, the algorithm and the numbers say Thunder Talk are good. Are they, like, worlds good? Probably if they weren't in the LPL and they were in, like, the LEC or LCS. Yes, they would be worlds good. But in the LPL, they're not. They're in that second to third tier of teams. But nevertheless, they're very good stats wise. Their 18th Bechuan is super good. UCal is doing work, getting around the rift. In top lane, Zhao Jing, when he plays it solid, they're going with Hoya now. Hoya's okay. He's doing better than he did with Damwon. That's the team I'm really watching that I hope just continues to improve since FPX just recently started getting good. But FPX had been struggling for so long that they kind of spoiled my mojo with them. 17th, I have Sandbox New, the last new team to the rankings. Sandbox beat HLE this morning, right? That's the last one? Yeah, it is. Beat HLE this morning. Sandbox are now 5-2. They also beat Fred at Briam. They still have to play Gen G, I believe, so that's a big one. That might knock them back out of the top 25. But right now, they are tied for third in the LCK. Krako's looking good. Closer had a great game, great series today. Prince has definitely improved that team, a player that I didn't really know a lot about going into the split and early on. You could tell that he was a very good player because I think their first series that they won, he played very well, and then they lost a couple, if I recall correctly. And now they're back to feeding Prince, getting Prince advantages, and they're doing well because of it. Cal also played a really good series today, but it was against HLE, so we'll see how they do going forward. 16th, I have LNG. LNG is an enigma. They're up 5 spots. If you're not a big LPL fan, LNG is the team that Tarzan and Doomby are on. If you're an LOL esports fan, you know who Doomby is, and you probably know who Tarzan is. 5-2, they beat LGD and IG, two teams that they should beat. LGD did give them a run for their money. They did beat IG, which is good. So LNG 16th, beating the teams they need to beat. They're 5-2, keeping themselves in contention. They should be in contention throughout the whole entire thing and the playoffs to get to Worlds. They are a team on paper that should go to Worlds, but they have been disappointing thus far. 15th, we have Fnatic. Fnatic are moving up 4 spots, which is going to kind of throw people off. Why are G2 going to still be so high? But I'll get there when I get there. So Fnatic are up 4 spots. They beat G2. They beat Astralis. Beating G2 is huge. That's a big win. Beating Astralis, beating a team that you need to prove that you are better than. And that's good. So Fnatic cruising. Like I said, at 5-2, they are clearly in contention to go to Worlds as of right now. Rogue getting better is a thing. They're in the next few teams after the top 25. On paper, Fnatic should be this good. I had a conversation in the comments with somebody last week about Fnatic, and they're reminiscent of G2 last year, and it's the only thing I can think of when it. Yes and no, because G2 have an arrogance about them, whether that's good or bad. It's a confidence thing. It's a cocky thing. Some people like confidence. Some people don't. Sometimes you need just enough, but then you can go over top of it and make a mistake and, not realize you have problems before everything hits the fan, which I feel like happens to G2, and that's why they win games and they lose so many in a row, back and forth, this hot and cold thing. Where Fnatic, I feel like they have players that aren't like that. Like, Hilly's gonna, throw all the time, and Humanoid might throw, but I think they know they throw, and they don't, kind of overlook their the problems they're having on the Rift. I don't know. I feel like Fnatic can fix their problems quicker than G2 can. Now, 14th, I have 100 Thieves. 100 Thieves beat TL. 100 Thieves beat TL and IMT, so they continue to move up. Their win over IMT was clean. Beating TL was like a Reddit Breon special. I don't think there was a first blood through the first 25 minutes. Someday played a great 2 games. Abadage has been okay. I mean, closer is definitely the key to this team's success against TL. So, 100 Thieves are 14th. I don't expect them to go super high. I mean, like this is usually the column that I say, oh, I could see this team winning at the end of all of it, right? I don't ever expect to put 100 Thieves over there. No matter what any algorithm would say, that's how you know that I'm not following the algorithm 100%. TL. TL dropped 1 spot to 13th. They beat CLG, which knocked CLG out of the top 25, and lost to 100 Thieves. But in the way they lost to 100 Thieves, anybody could have won that game. First blood coming at 25 minutes is a very close game until, a couple of team fights and the game was over. I think TL is better than 100 Thieves on paper. I think they offer more, and it's just a matter of, the day, I guess. 12th, or Damwon Kia. Damwon Kia played 3 times this past week, dropping 2 spots. So they beat Nongshim, Red Force, and KT. 2 teams they need to beat that are clearly below them. But they lost to DRX 2-1 this morning. And it was the way they lost. Like picking Belveth, but then not knowing how to draft around it. Why'd you do that? And they just got outright outplayed in Game 3. And I think Showmaker played an awful series, to be honest with you. Letting Zika get as much farm as he did and allowing Zika to just scale up and not really harass him too much. I understand he's on a Corki and things like that, but you kind of just let him go, I guess. I don't really know. I don't like what Damwon's doing. Damwon is like LNG and BLG and Vitality and I guess Liquid now that they lost the game. Like, you should be better than you are. What's the deal? Nugri had a solo kill, but at the same time, I don't think he really affected the game all that much. And he had a couple plays on a Gragas, but really only one's coming to mind. DRX 11th, like I said, beat DK. They are 5-2 though, which is good. Beat Damwon, lost to T1. I could see you losing to T1, your DRX. Beating Damwon is a win though. That's a big deal. That is the type of win like that told me. So this whole time I'm like, oh well, they have close records, but Damwon's definitely better than DRX. We have to wait to see. DRX isn't going to beat Damwon. Well, they beat Damwon, so they're above Damwon. Barrel played a great series today. Barrel ends from time to time, but today's series, he played really well. His Amumu really stuck out in Game 1. Probably the best player, arguably, I would say maybe the best one to play Mumu thus far that we've seen. 10th, we have EG. EG moving up 3 spots, beat TSM and Golden Guardians. EG continue to move along here. And it's not like there's no cheese here. There's nothing really special about like what they're doing. They're just winning. They're just better. Inspired's playing well. He's playing good League of Legends, and he is bringing the team along on his back. And Vulcan's playing a few different things. Danny played an MF, I think, this past weekend, which was interesting because we haven't seen a lot of MF. Saw it here or there, especially in the LPL this past week. But, different things. EG is looking good. Are they going to be over here? Probably not. Like I said, they're going to be here. I don't think that they're ever going to be over here anytime soon. So, but can't get much better than where I have them right now. Next is the final Western team. Well, nope, that's a lie. I lied about this whole thing is world contenders. Looking at my board, I have somebody 8th that isn't a world contender. So, okay. So G2, don't move at all. G2 are 9th. G2 lost to Mad Lions and Fnatic. They're 4-3, but G2 on paper is a lot better than that record. If they lose next week, if they throw up a dud after this break, they are going to go where they need to go with where their record indicates. I mean, this is the leash they get. 8th place. This is the Excel is not a world's contender. They're not a world's contender. I forgot I put them 8th. They had to be above G2 though. So they're 5-2. They lost to Rogue, beat BDS. Why are they moving up 3 spots then? Well, G2 did so bad, Excel moved above them. And the Damwon are doing worse than expected. Weibo are doing worse. So teams that were above them dropped. It's as simple as that. It's more of a matter of the teams around them proving that they're not very good versus Excel, which is right now the top team in the LEC, in my opinion. They're playing great League of Legends. I can't believe it either. Mickey has brought that team from the basement to the promised land. I mean, this is a world's contending team because of Mickey. Now, after this is where we get into our LPL and LPL and LCK Love Fest. So, 7th, dropping 1 spot, T1. T1 only played 1 series. It was against DRX. They pretty much fall only because they only played 1 series. Those around them had more opportunities to play against teams. I mean, the team that, pretty much is what happened here. Obviously, a good team. I mean, T1 are good everywhere. What about T1 isn't good? The only time they struggle is when they int. And that doesn't happen too often, but Carrier does do it on occasion. I do feel like Guma still has a little bit of that MSI issue in him, though, because I don't see him carrying as hard as I would expect him to, I guess. 6th place, EDG, dropping 1 spot. EDG beat Thunder Talk, lost to OMG. Losing to OMG, not acceptable. When I say that, I mean, we're going to see if that's just a whatever. You know, you lost 1. Let's see. I mean, this is your 2nd loss. But you lost. We'll see if this is a trend or not. We'll see in their next series. But that is unacceptable. When you lose to a team that's definitely not on this board, that arguably would be on the second half of a next board, I don't even know if they'd be in the top 50. Well, I feel like EDG kind of. I mean, let's put it this way: they don't have their coach, right? No, they don't have their coach from when they won Worlds. It's not the same team. Speaking of their coach from Worlds, though, RNG 5th place. RNG's only loss is to Victory 5, so right, I believe so. If I recall correctly. So they beat Ultra Prime. Solid win. Ultra Prime is a middle tier team, so beating them is a big deal. Zoom in top lane, Elkin the carry role, and Cryan. That up team is not bad. So RNG beating them is a big deal. Xiaohu did okay. I believe the bot lane Gala did I think Gala was MVP. Might have had a penta in that series. So RNG. 5th place, sorry, very good. Top don't move at all. Top are 6-1. They beat Weibo. Top are really good. What else is there really to say? Wayward, I feel like isn't really doing as much as I expected this whole season, really. But I mean, they're 6-1. So what else did I expect? Well, I expect them. I guess I underestimated JDG, really. Probably. JDG's 3rd. JDG, don't move. They lost FPX. We'll see if that's a trend or not, similar to these guys. Let's just say JDG built up enough goodwill thus far that I'm not dropping them after they lost 1 and now they're 6-1. FPX are looking really good right now. Putting Summit in top. Care in mid was great on the Galio this past week. Sorry. So we'll see if FPX continues. This is not, well, I've said it before. I am an FPX fan at this point. Um, we'll see if they end up on this board anytime soon. I think they had dug themselves such a hole, though, that it'll be hard for them to get up in here. Second place, Gen.g. All the stats tell me Gen.g is the best team in the world, but when you got to think about it now. So Gen.g are 6-0. They beat Kwangdong this past week. Good. I'm not writing it down. I almost did, but what would be the point? Gen.g and T1 play on Friday. Play tomorrow. On Friday, they play tomorrow, I think, or Saturday. That's a big one. That's the big one. That's what we're waiting to see. So if you're not going to be up for that, I expect you to watch the roundup, so you know what happened. That's a monster series. That's the series where Gen.g proves, are we the best team in the LCK, or are we not? Are T1 the best team in the LCK, or are they not? At least for the first round robin. And the reason why they're second is because Victory 5 is going to continue to be first, because not only are they putting up great numbers, which they have been, I mean, Victory 5 stats-wise are grading out as the second best team, according to my stats. And this kind of proves once again why I'm not following the algorithm. Without Dream and Karsa for some, well, Dream up until this past series against Rare Atom, where Victory 5 won, Dream played great League of Legends. Karsa was playing great League of Legends. Zhao Lao Bao, the backup jungler, is subbed in for Karsa, playing great League of Legends. I think someone said he hasn't lost a game yet, and if that's the case, it's still true. They didn't lose a game to Rare Atom. I mean, the team is undefeated in arguably the toughest region in the world, dominating teams more so than everybody else in the world except Gen.g, with backups. Like, I'm saying this all over the place because it's just mind-boggling. Like, Victory 5 are really, really freaking good. And we're going to see how they do for the rest of the split, because given the LPL only plays everybody once, which kind of is going to make, at certain points of the season, I mean, some teams might have a weaker schedule than others. That's why this team is up here, because ThunderTalk have played against, like, literally this team, maybe this team, and this team thus far. And it's like, well, shoot. Okay, you're not as good as them, and you're still grading out good. You're playing very good League of Legends against these teams. So you're going to be a top 25 team until we see you lose against bad teams. Victory 5, they're going to stay first until they lose to somebody. And even then, if they lose to somebody, if Karsa isn't in and Zhao Lao Bao is in, what am I supposed to do? I mean, I don't know why Karsa's splitting time with Zhao Lao Bao, but they're doing that. So thank you for sticking with me as I kind of rambled on through my top 25. Like the video if you liked it. Subscribe to the channel for daily League of Legends content. I do content every day, multiple videos for now. So comment down below, like I said, with your opinions if you have any, and thank you for watching.